it's been amazing. It's been an amazing, challenging journey. It's just about showing up every day and like doing what we really love to do. It's felt at many points very hard. It's not easy like to do this. When you're working with a band, there are many agreements, disagreements, stuff like that, but like it's all worth it when you come to that. And like, when we came to the final mix of I Met Someone, we were like, shit, how did we do this? And it feels like surreal. Hey, I'm Siddharth.
Hi, I'm Rishabh.
Hi, I'm Arpan. I'm the Green Park. And today we are breaking down I Met Someone from our album Newly Aged on Inqalab Decypher. I Met Someone was written in the middle of us writing and recording our album Newly Aged. We had a particular number of songs already that we had decided that would be the album. And then I Met Someone happened in the middle of that, and that kind of changed a lot of things. Basically, the song was written in like June 2023. I was listening to and singing the Ink Spots every day. The Ink Spots are a 30s American jazz band, and they have a very like soft style of singing, vibrato heavy, very light male voice. This particular kind of slow jazz, very melodic progressions, and I was obsessed with getting that voice down. And I was saying, I remember this one day at the park when I just kept singing the song called Maybe every like for like 2-3 hours until I nailed it, until I got every single thing of that song down. That night after the walk, I went to a friend's house, and at this friend's house we were having a little 4 or 5 people party type of thing, and I met this person over there who was extremely attractive to me. And yeah, I just went home feeling something different which I hadn't felt in a while, this feeling of infatuation. I just remember going home and being like, okay, I have feel something. It's been a long time. Let me quickly write a song because I have this voice down. I sang the whole day. I want to write something like this. It just came out very quickly. The entire thing just happened very, very quickly. And I had a quick recording of it down. The next day, I went to them. They lived like 2 minutes from my house back then, these two. And they lived in our studio house, basically. So I went there and I showed them the song, and we quickly had a very nice recording of it down. Then things took off from there. So I think like Sid can take over.
I think at this point when Arpan brought in this song, we had gotten to a certain point in recording our album, and we were thinking that it needed something more. We didn't know what it really needed, but we knew that we needed something. And when Arpan brought in this song, both of us were just like really excited because we knew that this was the song that would kind of, complete this album, or not complete it, but like this was what we were looking for. And as he said, like it was very 30s jazz inspired the way he sung it. He'd even put up a Instagram post just singing the song. And when he brought it into us, all of us just kind of decided that we would take the song in a different direction. Rish took out his SPD, and we thought that, we'd incorporate some electronic drum samples, we'd incorporate different bass sounds in the first recording itself. So that's when things sort of changed from the 30s jazz inspired song, and it became something that was much more like unique and indescribable, like not bound by genres. So that's where the tempo switch came, because the song starts on a certain tempo, and then we decided to change the tempo in the middle of the song. It was like a 6 to 7 month long process where we tried many different things, and the song changed even more.
Yeah, for sure. I think like bringing in that SPD feels to me like a very like interesting way of sort of summarizing what the experience was. Also, we're just trying new things. We're just, with this album too, we're just kind of bringing in like all of our different influences.
I was also very attached to doing the 30s jazz version as well. I was like, maybe you should put that out. Maybe we will, I don't know, at some point. But yeah, from there, it just, when we started working on it, like really like committed to, okay, that we should do this is great. Then it went into different directions. We had like other collaborators join us.
I think across the 6 months of producing it, adding parts, like we sort of figured out what direction we wanted the album to go in. We had this idea that there should be no second on this song or in this album that should feel repeated. We didn't want to loop anything. We didn't want to repeat anything. So we, in this song especially, which almost became a challenge by the end, we added so many things. Like it was like packed with parts, with harmony, with melodies.
Our friend Megha did harmonies as well, which added a different dimension entirely. Like, we'd never had like those kinds of lush female harmonies, I think, in a song before, and it really added something.
Yeah.
She said she likes the same obscure things that I've spent my life obsessing over. Then how could I not find her heart when she made such a mark on my heart?
By the end of it was just like, now we've thrown the paint at the wall, and we kind of threw everything at the wall, and then we were left with this like, thing that we needed to carve out to make something. And I think that was what made the song unique. Even in our own album, I don't think there's another song like that, or if we'll ever make another song like that.
I met someone last night who made me feel things I haven't felt inside. It's been a long time. I mean, I think that's pretty self-explanatory. There's not much to go into there. So a lot of my lyrics are just very straightforwardly said. I've liked things that are just easily understandable. I like poetry, but I'm not the biggest fan of dense poetry per se. I like things just more, like I said, straightforwardly said. And I think this song is pretty easy to understand that way. Is it mere infatuation or the start of something big? The thought of it all makes me fucking sick. So the last line was to me a bit interesting because I was writing this very, very soft, romantic 30s jazz song, and suddenly I'm saying fucking in that because that's not exactly something they would do in the 30s. And but that's how I felt. It was pretty intense emotion, whatever it was in that moment. And I just felt like I'm not in 30s anymore, so I can't do this. She said she likes the same obscure things that I've spent my life obsessing over. Then how could I not find her heart when she made such a mark on my heart? Yeah, the obscure things we were talking about were Yellow Submarine, the album, not the song, by the Beatles, and particularly the song called It's All Too Much, which is one of my favorite Beatles songs of all time. It's this Harrison song, 8 minutes long psychedelic jam, and it's incredible. It's absolutely insane. It also inspired another song from our album called Take What You Can Get. So and she made a mark on my heart because I just felt this connection, and that makes someone hot to me, like it's just natural. She left without saying goodbye. She was in a rush, yes, but she didn't even cast an eye towards me as I waited with bated breath. So maybe this is all just in my head. I met someone last night who spent a great deal of time portraying the perfect person from my dreams. Again, it's pretty obvious. This is all true. This happened, and I was like, I thought we had a nicer time than this, but okay, you do you. So then it goes to, I met someone last night who spent a great deal of time portraying the perfect person from my dreams. So I'm clearly talking about this very idealized figure of what a person who I would be attracted to looks like. in my head. Well, I know that it's not fair of me to think of her as someone who would care about me. I do doubt it, but what can I do when I can only think of you? There's no point projecting these feelings onto someone who's not, going to reciprocate them. It's still intense. Like, you still have feelings. You still have something that happened to you that night, and that's what the last line is. Because in that moment, it was a bit, yeah, fuck. Like, I hope you message me in the morning, and just, be like, yeah, I was in a rush, sorry, but like, that didn't really happen, and I didn't really see her again. But I got a great song out of it, so I'm glad that night happened. Like, I've loved love songs in general. I've just loved the Beatles and the Smiths and the way they write about romance. And since this band started, I didn't really write any love songs at all because they were more just like heartbreak songs. There were no like feelings of like a newfound spark or something because I was not in that zone. When the band started, I was in a very shit place regarding a breakup. So it felt nice to be able to finally write something like, Here, Then, Everywhere or something like just a very romantic song because I'd had these feelings for so long in my head, but I had them when I wasn't a writer. And so it was very nice to like put it all out into the world. And like the number of people who come up to me and like told me that this is their song for their their lovers or their like it's their couple song or it's their heartbreak song. It's all kinds of things, and it's a very special feeling to have written that kind of a song. Yeah, I like what I like about the song is that it already has that sense of like self-awareness that yes, I am deep in this infatuation, not really even that deep, but like yeah, mildly deep in this, but also like yeah, it's not fair to project your feelings onto someone who is not up for it.
Ultimately, we had this one take that we had recorded on a ribbon microphone, which are in like they don't have much gain to begin with. So we had turned up the gain a lot because Arpan was singing really softly. Like he was like, turn me up in my headphones so I can make the smallest noise and hear myself. Once we actually had the vocal take, it had a bunch of noise in it, but that was the vocal take that we chose.
That was on day one also, I think.
Yeah.
Day one, day two, something like that.
So we'd done that, we'd recorded that, and then we tried for months to, make it better, but it ended up being that that was the take that we had to go with because it was the best one. And
The
so that
infatuation was over.
yeah,
It was only on that day.
yeah.
And yeah.
The final song I think had over about 200 tracks. We added many instruments, many synths. We added saxophone, electric piano. I think even the harmonies and vocals themselves were about 30 to 40 tracks of just the vocals. So we worked a lot to kind of carve out space for things so that they'd pop and like you'd still hear like the main story of the song, which is the lyrics. And I think even the drums
Yeah, I was
were
coming
the
to the
first
drums.
day.
Oh, yeah.
The first day, the
Yeah.
first recording that we did, we stuck with those drums because
Yeah.
it gets really hard to like replicate things when you meet for the first time and you're hearing the song and like something special always happens. So a lot of our songs on the album were those first recordings, that we kept, and then we'd add a bunch of things to them, make it different, but like we'd always come back to the first thing, and maybe it's like an attachment, but also that's what it's about.
Yeah.
Like it's about our taste and it's about like what feels good rather than what is good.
Yeah, and there's a freshness to a first take when someone's listening to it, like when as people that are going to be playing it, we're listening to it also the first time, it does something. What the drum, we have an electric drum set that comes in first and then an acoustic drum set comes in a bit later, which sort of makes the song feel bit fuller, and then, and then both of them are happening simultaneously, which
That's
I
one of
think
my
was a
favorite
challenge.
parts,
Yeah.
like in the album
Yeah.
itself, like when both the drums bleed like
Yeah.
together. And it's
Yeah.
also very emotional because like you had these, drum hits
Yeah.
in the first half, and then you have the second half, She Left Without Saying Goodbye. It's a pretty like
Yeah.
strange part. It's like anxiety. The acoustic drums coming into those electric drums at the end just feels like, okay, like life is resuming
Yeah,
here.
like,
Like you're just out of
exactly.
this thing.
For sure.
It's very, yeah, I love that part.
Then we move into something that's more driving. So it's like the song is going through these parts, and the song is like really short,
Yeah.
but still like it goes through everything. Like it goes through like the softest thing to like really intense and loud as well. So
And
that's
the
something
the
was
drum sound
intentional.
in that part is insane. Like that's one of my favorite things. Like
Yeah.
the solo drum track from the middle section is insane. Like I've always wanted to do something with that. Write a different song or something, but
So
it's really good sound.
yeah, we kept all the low frequencies of the electronic kit and completely cut out the low frequencies in the live drums.
Yeah.
The drum track from that, it has the bleed of Arpan singing the first time, like
Yeah.
completely, not at all singing to sing to have the
Yeah.
final vocal take, but it's all bleeding into things. So there's noise, there's bleed, there's everything. Like, there's 200 tracks. So, like, there's not much cleaning up.
Yeah.
Like, even if there is some,
Yeah.
it's supposed to be noisy. It's supposed to be,
Yeah.
it's supposed to go there.
Yeah, it's also like I feel like the nature of the work as a band. I mean, like this was done in our home studio. It's very like our cats are everywhere. When the सुबह बर्तन हो रहे हैं क्या क्या. So there's just stuff that that just bleeds into the recording, and since we're also tied to these first takes, they're just there. And so it really it just comes down to, okay, like how do we manage, but also what do we like amongst like all of this noise, and it ends up being the sound. It's definitely, it also fits into the character of, I mean, and also the philosophy of the album is like like it's a portrait in time.
I don't know how many 100, 200, 300 hours we spent on this song, but
Yeah.
sometimes you just go through that whole journey and realize, okay, that first fucking 2 hours were all we needed.
Golden, yeah.
But you have to go through the journey
For sure.
to reach that point. If you don't do that, then what's the fun?
Yeah.
So I'll start with the concept of the album and the title, Newly Aged. Newly Aged is a song I wrote in February 2023. And yeah, this song just came out one day and we again like jammed it. We had a great recording of it down. But we weren't sure if we were going to put it out on the album. But we did like the title of the song as an album title. At the same time, we were working on a bunch of different songs, and like we realized the overarching theme is this sense of anxiety about, aging, and like how it's so tied in with morality and even like daily living. It's so tied in with the ideas of like, there's so much pressure because one day you will die and one day you will grow old, and like let's get as much of it, like let's do as many things as we can before that time comes. So yeah, that was the title, and some of the songs, most of the songs in some way relate to this. I think I Met Someone was about the fear of not finding someone before it's too late or something. Coast is the idea of like reaching oneness or something with the idea of being Indian and being very westernized, because there's been a conflict throughout my entire life. And yeah, I could go on and on. Like there's a lot to do here. You want to talk about the album cover?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, when we first thought about naming the album Newly Aged, it felt, I mean, like we went through a lot of like album art things too, and I think so we found this photograph. This was taken 2017 or 2016. Like I want to say 2018. I don't know, but but it's my 23rd birthday, my friend took a picture of me like breaking the piñata because they made the piñata for me, and it was a really sweet birthday.
And the idea behind, I felt like we all related to that thought of the piñata breaking. It had a certain angst and energy and like, restlessness this emotion kind of evokes. So that album cover really fit perfectly for us. We didn't really change it much. It was just the photo as it was originally.
It's like a violent coming of age. Like,
Yeah.
you're like smashing it. Like as a kid, you would do it out of sheer like, excitement. Here, it's like
Like for
accompanied
candy,
with like
but
yeah.
but
Yeah.
here it's just anger, but also like excitement. But
Yeah.
you know, it's
Yeah.
like
It's a bunch of
yeah,
different
it's-
things.
Yeah, when we finished the song, I think that's when we really realized that this would be our first proper music video.
Yeah, for sure. And it had to be this song, you know, like talking about the music video also. We were working with this filmmaker, Bhushitendu. Bhushitendu is really, really good at what he does, as you'll see in the music video. We would definitely wanted to do some mixed media like animation in it also. And that middle part that Arpan mentioned felt like a good place to do it in that sort of that transition from the first section to the later part of the song. Then we came up with the storyline of the specs and the metaphor of the glasses as, you know, finding the one perfect pair of glasses and how the song could sort of relate to that. So that was quite exciting. And, you know, the sort of so the song starts with these interviews of people talking what seems like they're talking about their significant other, but at the end of the song it's revealed that they're actually talking about their perfect pair of glasses that they found. It's a spectacle shop or like an optical shop in the middle of Paharganj actually. Like we found a nice nice beautiful shop. We talked to the shopkeeper. He's like, hey, like, can we do this? And he was quite into. He also had some crazy inputs on the music video. So we,
Oh my god.
so we,
He
we
wanted to be the
definitely-
director.
Yeah, he definitely tried to be the director,
Yeah.
which was quite something to manage. But yeah, it all happened in 2 days. You know, we had a full packed schedule and we somehow did it. It was pretty wild. We got a lot of loban going,
Yeah.
a lot of smokiness. And also, we also shot in our then studio,
Yeah.
which was really great. Also, some shots in the studio, you know, with us playing.
All the actors in the video were family and friends. Like my whole
Yeah,
family was in the video.
Yeah,
The shopkeeper was created by my dad.
Yeah.
My sister comes in at the end. My mom's part of the initial interview.
yeah.
And yeah, everyone was just, it was like a big like family thing, the whole thing.
Yeah.
Like it didn't feel like we were doing a, you know,
Music video.
a music
Yeah.
video. It just felt like
Yeah.
like a celebration of all the things we've been trying to do with the people we
sure.
love, and it was really fun. Like the entire thing was really fun.
For sure. Even our cat Papita made it in the
Oh,
video.
yeah,
which
Papita's
was-
in the
which was
video
pretty
too.
great. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she has a brief
Yeah.
appearance.
Yeah.
For those that look closely.
Easter eggs.
I'm honestly getting goosebumps thinking
Yeah.
about that video, bro, because like those
Yeah.
3-4 days, it
Yeah.
was like insane. Like everyone
Yeah,
who
for
showed
sure.
up, you know, to help us achieve this vision, like
Yeah.
they're all part of it, and like it's like some
There was so much
20
shit to be
odd
done.
people
Yeah.
who I don't think anyone could make a video like that, like, you know, with like lakhs of budget or whatever.
Yeah.
It was like really special.
That's why there's a dog that starts to like fucking
Chase
run
him.
him. Man.
उससे
that was
बहुत
funny.
भगाया है यार
बहुत
हमने।
भगाया उसने.
हाँ.
And then the response to that was like, it felt like, okay, Green Park is now actually like starting or something.
Yeah.
Like,
That was the
sure.
beginning of our new
Yeah,
era.
For
Yeah.
sure.
yeah, because we'd just been like on hiatus to the world for like a year while we were making this album. We hadn't done anything. There was no social media posts, there was no gigs, there was nothing. As far as people knew, we were dead. And then we came out with this, and it was so nice to see like not only the people who were there before, but so many new people who are now listening to us. And I don't think we've stopped since then. Like it's just been a pretty non-stop thing. I
The
feel like
biggest
that's how
thing
it will
about
be.
this song, I think, is like we got responses from people who are like 15, 16, and then like from people who are 70, 80.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And they were like, I really relate
Relate
to
to
this
this
video.
song.
Yeah, man, that was
Like
crazy.
on the
that's
YouTube
crazy.
channel, like
Yeah.
the comments are crazy.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I keep going back, you know, like
Yeah.
seeing if someone is like, commenting something.
Dude, it's still happening. Like, I
Yeah.
saw some 2 weeks ago, people are still looking at it. I'm like, that's wild.
Yeah,
I
so
was not expecting that. But yeah.
So I was alone in a law school writing music as a solo project for a long time. And after law school, I was in a band at some point called DN. And after leaving that band, I used to play bass there. I wanted to write my own song and I would put them out. I always wanted to play in a band because my favorite artists had been bands. So I met these guys at a house party that Rish was hosting, like, with Sid
Yeah.
at his house, which eventually became our studio house. And at that party, we just spoke about the Beatles and how we love them and we should jam. So yeah, the first jam we just played a bunch of Beatles songs and I showed them some of my songs and it was instant. It was like, yeah, we're a band now.
So when I met Arpan, I knew him from high school, which was like 10 years ago. Yeah, and Rish at that point had told me that he really wanted to play drums. He'd never played drums before. And the first thing that we played just felt right. And we continued jamming like after that. The name Green Park was, I don't exactly remember how it came up. We were driving around.
Around
and-
Green Park,
Around
the
Green
metro
Park.
station.
And someone shouted Green Park and we were like, oh, cool. I wonder if Rish will like it. Then we went home, we were like, Rish, do you like this name? And he's like, because at this point we had gone through like,
Like, a lot
so
of
many
names,
names.
a lot
and
of
then
names.
we were just like, okay, this maybe feels good, but then like, will he like it? So we went home and he's like, yeah, I actually like it. So then we were like,
Yeah,
fuck it,
yeah.
let's just do it.
No, for sure. Like, it helped that all three of us like came into this project working with things that we hadn't really, like with specifically like with instruments that we hadn't really explored before.
Yeah.
Even though I think like all three of us did go through through most of our lives have gone through playing music, but it was like a fresh perspective to
Yeah.
the form. So it was interesting to.
He'd never
To
been a
have that.
drummer.
Yeah.
He'd never been a bass player. Never been a singer in a
Yeah.
band. Like, we'd never done those things. So.
Yeah.
When it comes to being in a band, like, it's the most fun thing for me because you're always challenged by perspectives that aren't your own. So when someone says that, like, sometimes you can be like, oh shit, but my perspective is this. But then as soon as you like step out of that, a whole universe opens, and then when you align with the people that you're working with, then you reach somewhere that it's impossible to reach on your own. So that's what the band is all about.
I think the lucky thing for us has been like there's just been this inherent trust from the start that we trust each other's opinions and that there is a taste trust. That
Yeah.
if someone is saying that there is some merit to this, then we're automatically in. No one is dismissive of, nahi, ye nahi sunne wale, like ye galat hai. We might give it a shot and then you're like, okay, you're not really feeling this one. But there's always like an attempt, and I feel like that's a very, very rare thing. Like, I've been in other bands where these things have not happened, or played with other artists, other musicians, and it's not quite happening. And I think that's what we felt the first time. It's still there.
Yeah, I think if you're in a room, and you're expressing yourself, if you're not being heard, then that's not the place to be. And
Yeah.
we've never felt that
For sure.
ever because you always have to hear each other out in a band, and that's why it's so much fun, and that's why we can reach, greater places together.
Follow us.
Yeah.
Yeah, just keep track of what we're doing. We'll put out some new music soon.
We're going to release new music very soon that we're really, really excited about. And maybe that'll be in this year, maybe not. I don't know. But like, follow us. We're going to keep doing more shit.
Yeah, it's at All Parks Are Green on Instagram.
Yep.
Yeah.